Okie dokie, here we go. This morning, good morning. This is Tim. Happy Friday, about 5 a.m. Eastern time. And this is a IR satellite loop of the tropics here. I can draw on this, so that's good. You can see Gabrielle out here has regained some convection around it, although the low level center is probably right. Can't draw too well, but right there, maybe better drawn like that. Uh, You got some other convection out here in the deep tropical Atlantic. Um, Not a lot to talk about right now. Gabrielle is the main show, right? And Bermuda is right up here. Right now, it's forecast to move roughly up like this and out to sea. You can see the clouds moving this way, right? And that troughiness is forecast to remain. And there's almost no chance. Well, I would say there's no chance of this system making it to the Atlantic coast, even close to it, right? So when we look at the water vapor loop, there's still um, the yellows around this system depict drier air. Although there's more moisture building in with this system around it, there's still some dry air to its west, and there's some ongoing shear as well that's impacting it this way. This upper level low keeps moving to the east, to the west, and this looks like a high pressure cell to its north here, maybe inducing some shear this way as well. You have kind of a weird flow right here. This is a mid level high, right? So maybe shear induced this way. I have to analyze that some more, but generally, still some dry air surrounding it, and not likely to develop too much more in the short term. Okay, so let's look at the upper level water vapor imagery. You can see what I'm talking about here. You have some dry area with the upper levels, with the blues here, right here, and this way, kind of moving like this. So overall, not that conducive environment, although it's managed to maintain its structure, and with the convection firing over it, it maintains its intensity this morning. Low level water vapor. You see the dry air at the low levels, right? But the moisture pocket associated with this, with Gabrielle, is right here. So, uh, if this can maintain convection in the next couple of days, it's likely to be able to reach hurricane status as it moves up this way. I know I don't sound that excited about this system. I don't know. It's been kind of a roller coaster ride with this thing. The models have backed off on intensity. Now they're ramping back up based on now that it still has some structure, I think. And so we'll probably see a hurricane out in the open Atlantic, but I think the chances are lessening that we're going to impact some Bermuda. But really, Bermuda is the reason why we're tracking this, because other than that, it's just a fish storm. And like my friend Mitch said yesterday, Bermuda's not a fish. People live there. So it's important to track this. In addition, it helps each day to look at this to help people understand what's going on out here. So, all right. So, here's the latest from National Hurricane Center. Uh, Key messages for Tropical Storm Gabriel. Of course, they say talk about the impacts, possibly Bermuda, and swells generated by um, Gabriel. Supposed to be a hurricane by Sunday, and that seems reasonable. Okay. These are the probabilities of tropical storm force winds um, reaching the areas here. So, eastern Bermuda, pretty much 100% close to it. Bermuda, 20-30% chance of seeing tropical storm force winds. You see the curvature out to sea here expected. Out to sea meaning curving to the right here. Uh, and this is the previous track. See, I shifted to the north here, and tropical storm, and there is the radius of tropical storm force winds. Let's see if we can the track on there. I don't see Bermuda on here. Let me see if I can. There's Bermuda right there, I think. Right there. So the cone depicts where the center might pass. So the center is over here. Then it'll be closer there. But it also depends the structure of the system when it comes close to Bermuda. So really have to just wait and see what's going to happen here. In the short term, really not a threat to anybody. So we have a few days to watch it still. And if we add the most likely time of tropical storm force wind, take the cone and stuff off here so we can see where it's going to be Sunday, 8 p.m. If it stays on its current track by Sunday evening, we could expect tropical storm force winds anywhere in this area. All right, so here's the first light images of Gabrielle. You can see most of the convection off to the east, Mulliver Center, kind of right here. Definitely looking better than it did yesterday. So, uh, I think conditions are going to improve over the coming days. So, Gabriel looks like it's going to survive and become a hurricane in the tropical Atlantic. Uh, like I said earlier, only a possible threat to Bermuda at this time. You see how far away it is away from the Caribbean islands here, right down here. So, all right. So, real quickly, this is the latest model intensity guidance for Gabrielle. Most solutions now want to make it on the average probably a Cat 2, 3 hurricane within 96 hours. And some of the other models may be a little less aggressive with this right now, but we'll just have to see how this plays out in the next couple of days, see how the system evolves and gets organized. So we look at this is the global super ensemble model guidance and intensity here. The darker blues indicate stronger. The up here at the top where it's like I don't know, different shade, green and stuff. That's weaker. And you can see different solutions, except for one, make it far, pretty far east of Bermuda, um, and not really be getting a hurricane, like a stronger hurricane, until it recurs out into the Atlantic. And this is the GFS ensemble tracks and minimum SLP, which this is the American model, consists of 31 members. You can see the middle line of this black line right here is the center mean average of all these. And again, when it recurs is when it gains most intensity, according to this model as well. And Eastern Bermuda. It remains to be seen like how large the system's going to be when it gets up here, and that'll determine any impacts on Bermuda. We know that there's going to be wind, waves, and rip currents, but how much wind and like impacts beyond that, we'll have to see how it plays out. I know I'm switching through different windows here. I apologize for that, but these are different track and model guidance. I don't even see Bermuda on this screen, which is kind of weird, but all different models and tracks are pretty tightly clustered, which gives me a lot of confidence in the long-term forecast for the system. So as far as track goes, intensity is a different story. But that's about it for the tropics, guys. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse here, but wanted to give you all the information about it. So this is the true color visible satellite loop covering the continental U.S. here. You have your visible part moving across the screen here. You can see ongoing flow this way with associated convection just offshore in the southern Florida here. And you have a general flow going like this and back up around, kind of down like this. We can look at the water vapor loop, mid-level water vapor loop, get a better idea what's going on here. Complex flow pattern, obviously. You have this kind of going like this, up and around the ridging, and trough again here. Persistent troughiness over the east continues with the mid-level dry air persisting here. The low levels, you can see how dry it is as well. Moisture from Mario that was off the California coast is being shunted off to the north, and more moisture from the Gulf and from this are being turned back around. You have like a mid-level feature, upper-level feature here in the flow. Some other short waves moving through the flow here. Looks like a remnant MCS here, and overall maybe stratiform precip here in the western part of the country. We overlay this with the radar. I don't know, just high clouds really up here when you look at the radar. And overall, some weird artifacts going on down here. But you can get the sense of the flow here with some rain ongoing in the California mountains, the desert southwest, and that MCS moving through the south Oklahoma today, and more precip and storms in the Mississippi Valley Mississippi Valley up in the upper Midwest moving this way, and some going through the flow here. As far as the southeast, we had a little bit of rain the other day, but bone dry still. So, that being said, let's move on to the overall flow pattern here. You can see what we're talking about here. Move this slow. This is initializing it, right? This is the European AI model. I like to use this model because it seems to be performing really well this year. So the overall flow pattern, this is at 500 millibars, going like this, and back up. Complex here. Really deep low up here in the into Canada. Of course, moving this way. Other ridging aloft, really ridging at 500 millibars way up here. So this flow is just highly amplified with upper level features embedded in the flow here, there, and some overall troughiness here, just persisting this way. So let's move this through slowly here. This feature wants to kind of cut off the west coast. This one moves up. There's Gabrielle out here. You have a cutoff low off the west coast. Another trough digging in the central part of the country with the ridging building in. You see the ridging here. Pause it. Pollution low off here. Low pressure here. High pressure. Another deep low developing here. Crazy the troughiness we've had over the eastern part of the U.S. And this is 7 days from now. Okay. So we're going to keep moving this forward. Moving kind of slow here, but I wanted to get the general idea. This will likely bring cooler weather to the eastern part of the country. That cuts off, and you see potential two tropical systems towards the end of the month here. The European AI wants to bring these two, one to the southeast coast and one up ahead of it. So we stopped this at 360. A lot less amplified pattern in the longer term, but this far out, it's really hard to tell. This is for October. So this is general trends we're looking at here. But overall, towards the end of 7 days from now, which is next Friday, you see what this model wants to do. We have 3 tropical systems potentially out here in the different areas. So have to keep an eye on that. Moving forward, current hazards. Flood watch out here in California. Some dense fog advisories up here in northern high plains off the east coast. Freeze warnings up there in Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont. I still have trouble with these states. And some ongoing flooding here in South Dakota. I don't see any heat advisories. Looks like there's a flash flood warning right there, but overall, not a lot of hazards going on today. As far as temperatures go, next 7 days, you see where the deeper whites are is where the hottest temps are, and you can look at these maybe through time. You see where the temps are the hottest. They get pushed further southward. This is Wednesday. and Thursday, cooling off for a good portion of the country, except for the desert Southwest and the deep South. But this will change after that. For the East, if that trough builds in like the model says it's going to do. This is the total precip expected during the next week, and you can see the deeper oranges and yellows indicate the highest precip amounts, 5, 6, 8 inches potentially. Maybe some getting into the Mississippi Valley, right, and into Tennessee and the parts of the South, but along the East Coast, still going to be kind of dry. Texas, dry. Northern part of the country, parts of North Dakota, dry, but overall you can see where the most precip is offshore, southern Florida, into the desert Southwest, California, and in the Mountain West here, with some areas that don't get much at all. In the South, we're just missing out still. When we look at excessive rainfall outlook for the coming days, next 3 days, you have a slight risk here in California and the desert Southwest, marginal risk. Middle part of the country, hot in the plains, marginal, and upper Midwest, parts of the northern high plains, marginal risk for today. Tomorrow, threat moves a little bit further south, a little bullseye here in the middle parts of the country, west of the lower Mississippi Valley, and stays in the Midwest regional high valley and the desert Southwest, marginal risk, 5% chance, within 25 miles of a point. As far as days 6 through 10 precip, this is valid the 24th through the 28th. Areas in green are leaning above normal chances of precip, and areas in brown are below normal precip chances compared to average. Okay, so splits the nation in half here, and when we look at temps, the whole nation is expected to be above normal temperatures. I don't see any area that, of course, there's areas that have a little less chance of it being above normal, but that's pretty telling right there. So 8 to 14-day temp outlook, interestingly enough, still forecast to be above average, even though we get that trough on the East Coast. We'll just have to see how that plays out. This is the 2nd of October, except for areas in the towards the West Coast here. Forecast looks like it's going to be above normal chances. Chances are above normal than more than average that we're going to have above normal temps. Okay, very confusing sometimes. And most of the nation precip chances look to be better than average for most of the nation, except for the areas in white you see here. This is the 26th through the 2nd of October. Okay. So for today, severe weather, marginal risk in smack dab in the central part of the country, surrounded by a lot of general thunderstorm risk. Maybe we can get some thunderstorm here in the southeast. That'd be nice. Tornado outlook just to the north here, north of this, with the categorical risk, part of the area here that's a marginal risk, right? Marginal risk of hail as well, and marginal risk of wind, which means low risk today. For tomorrow, general thunderstorms forecast for the light green areas. Same with day 3, still general thunderstorms and along the East Coast here. And for days 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, this is the 27th. unable to, there's not a lot of certainty about the severe weather threats in the coming days. Next, I'm gonna go over the local forecast for our area here. So here's the precip forecast for the local area here. Not precip, 7-day forecast. 20% chance of shower and thunderstorms today and tonight, and sunny, highs in the 80s, high 80s, near 90 for a good portion of the week, with shower and thunderstorm chances returning towards the middle of next week. Still not a lot of high chances, but more than we've had in the past. So we can always hope that these it'll rain some more, but um, highs in the 90s. We're used to cooler weather, so hopefully this will be a last gasp for summer. Anyway, hope you have a great day, and God bless.